What's up guys, it's Kara Corey here, and I've been experimenting this week with a fun recipe that I want to share with you today. I've been making some at-home chocolates. Believe it or not, they're relatively healthy and extremely filling, so these are great to have ready to go in your fridge or freezer. That way you can grab a couple here and there if you're just needing to satisfy that little sweet tooth without going balls deep in some chocolate cake. So for this recipe, what I've got here is a little candy mold that I'm going to use to make our chocolates. But if you don't have one of these on hand, that's totally fine. You guys can still make this recipe. Very simple. All you need to do is grab like a muffin pan with like little cupcake tins. You can use those to pour the chocolate into and make your candy that way. They may just be a little bit bigger, but you guys can still do it without one of these on hand. For today's recipe, the ingredients we're going to use are also going to incorporate superfoods, so you're going to be indulging in chocolates but still having some health benefits from it. For this recipe, we need to be at the stovetop, and we're going to go ahead and just take a pan and heat that up. Like a medium heat, and all we're gonna do is add in a couple ingredients. First one being coconut oil, and I'm gonna add in 1/4 cup of coconut oil into our pan and start to let that melt. And I'm gonna go ahead and mix that with, today I'm using some of this Justin's classic almond butter. This is truly just roasted almonds in oil. I like to find more of a natural almond or nut butter because several of them have a lot of added sugar to it, a lot of added salt, and that's not really necessary. So we're gonna go ahead and let the almond butter and the coconut oil melt together on the stovetop. So you don't want to go too far. That's going to melt relatively quickly. So you just want to kind of hang tight at the stove, mix those around, and let those melt in together. The magic happens relatively quickly with this recipe, so you don't want to go far. It's only probably been about a minute on the stovetop, and the coconut oil and almond butter is completely heated together. So you're going to want to go ahead and take that off the heat, or make sure you shut your stovetop off. And what we're going to add in here is a little bit of pure vanilla extract, and I'm going to add in about 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. That's optional to give it a little vanilla flavor. As per usual, I don't measure. And stir that up. And then for flavor, what I'm going to add to it, to add a little sweetness to it, you guys could add honey to it, you could add agave. I'm going to use some of these French vanilla stevia extract drops. And this has got like a little dropper on it, so I'm just going to suck some up in there and go ahead and add a few drops to that to give it a little vanilla flavor. In keeping with the theme of superfoods, we're next going to add some organic cocoa powder. Cocoa is a good superfood. It's a good source of antioxidants. And we're going to go ahead and add in here about 2 tablespoons of the cocoa powder. Go ahead and mix that in. Next, for protein powder, I'm going to use the MTS Whey and triple chocolate biscuit. You guys could use chocolate, you could use peanut butter fluff. I think either of those would be really good. I'm adding 1.5 scoops of the triple chocolate biscuit. Dump that in there and go ahead and stir that up really good. The last addition to our chocolates is going to be some hemp hearts. I'm going to add in 2 tablespoons of hemp hearts. I like adding the hemp hearts in there not only because it provides a good source of nutrition. The hemp hearts, all the carbs that are in there are dietary fiber, which are great for your health, your digestive system, your heart health. But the hemp hearts add like a nice little crunchiness to it so that the chocolates end up tasting like a Nestle's Crunch Bar. So 2 tablespoons into our chocolate mixture. So I've dumped all of our chocolate mixture into this little pouring thing, more so because it's aesthetic and cute. You guys could go ahead and take a tablespoon while you do this, depending on the size of your mold, or just, you know, whatever you're pouring this into will dictate how much you need to pour in there. I'm gonna do about like a tablespoon. Probably gonna have to like go through and make this look a little more perfect. After you've got all your chocolate into your molds, then go ahead and put it in the freezer for at least 30 minutes. You could let it chill overnight if you want, but in 30 minutes it should be just long enough to let it set. Alright guys, it's been about 30 minutes and my mold was all set. This mold made about 18, I think, little chocolates, and They're like little tiny thinner chocolates, which are perfect because you can just grab a couple if you're in the mood for something sweet. All it takes is a couple to satisfy that sweet tooth. And the batter makes a good amount of batter for the recipe I gave you, so you're gonna be able to make upwards of like 50 candies depending on what mold size you use. So you can go ahead, store these in an airtight container, either in your fridge, or I like to keep them right in the freezer. You've got yourself some fun, spooky little chocolates. I don't know, oh, I broke one. I got my candy mold right off Amazon for like, what was it, like $5 I think? So you can get candy molds very cheap right off Amazon Prime if you want to do it that way. That's gonna be it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoy. Have fun making it. Get your kids involved if you have kids, and we'll see you in the next one.